में नहीं जाएगी। एक छोटा सा पोल करते हैं। लेट मी टेस्ट आउट दिस फीचर एज वेल। किसी को आइडिया है जूम में पोल कैसे होता है? आई गेस एप्स में होगा, राइट? नोप, कोई नहीं। आई जस्ट वांटेड टू नो कि कितने लोग ऐसे हैं जो कि प्रोडक्ट एज अ सेकेंडरी प्रोफाइल रख रहे हैं अपने प्रिपरेशन में। रेज योर हैंड। हैंड रेज का फीचर हो गया, रिएक्ट कर दो। अच्छा, हैंड रेज का है फीचर, सो रेज योर हैंड। सेकेंडरी रख रहे हैं, कूल। एंड बाकी सब प्राइमरी रख रहे हैं, कूल। सो यशवी एंड जीतू आर कीपिंग इट सेकेंडरी। प्राइमरी क्या है? एसडी ही है तुम्हारा सॉफ्टवेयर?
एनालिस्ट है
आयुषी
भैया।
एनालिस्ट है, ओके। आयुषी तुम्हारा? यशवी तुम्हारा?
It's like for me, I'm not closing other options. I'm studying my core subjects as well, and yeah, I'm interested into product as well.
कोर सब्जेक्ट लाइक रिसर्च ओरिएंटेड?
No, like I'm from chemical, so core oriented jobs are there as well.
ओके, श्योर श्योर श्योर, कूल। एंड इस यशवी का एसडी है, कूल। एंड स्वप्निल, सार्थक, नक्षत्र, नक्षात्र, नक्षत्र, ओके, दिव्यांश, अर्चित, अंकित, इन सबका प्राइमरी है प्रोडक्ट में बिल्ड करने का करियर प्लान्स, कूल।
ये अभी तक कुछ डिसाइडेड ही नहीं है उसमें।
ओके,
प्राइमरी
प्रोडक्ट के अलावा और क्या क्या ऑप्शंस है?
एनालिटिक्स एंड वही क्वांट वगैरह थोड़ा।
कूल, ऑलराइट, श्योर, नाइस इनसाइट्स। मेरा स्क्रीन वापस से शेयर कर रहा हूं मैं, एंड लेट्स स्टार्ट टुडेस सेशन। Hi, so welcome to day 3 of Definitive Guide to APM Preparation. Just a call out, ये cohort का purpose है that you make your own strategy to prepare for entry level product roles in India, specifically APM roles जो हमारे campus like IIT BHU campus placements में आते हैं। In that perspective, required skills का हमारा narrow down हो जाता है काफी, लाइक काफी नीश हो जाता है कैंपस प्लेसमेंट में क्या क्या स्किल्स चाहिए। दैट बीइंग सेड, प्रोडक्ट के जो जेन्युइन होलिस्टिक स्किल्स होते हैं वो अलग है, विल डिस्कस। आज के सेशन में स्किल्स पे बात करने वाले हैं, एंड यू हैड सम डिस्कशंस इन द ग्रुप एज वेल कि प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर्स को क्या क्या स्किल चाहिए। आई एम नॉट इन अ पोजिशन टू like enlist all these skills because I'm yet to join a job and actually experience product management role, right? So I'll keep myself away from claiming anything which I'm not cognizant of. The second part we'll be discussing in today's session is what this session was meant for, how to prepare, how to develop your strategy towards your goal. So we will first discuss what your goal should be in a very concrete sense, not in an abstract level, and what your strategy should be, how you can strategize, right? So today will be a very interesting session in that front. Yes, with that, required skills. So in general, like there are some product veterans who have given solid ज्ञान on product management कि कैसे वो build करना चाहिए, क्या क्या skills लगते हैं and all. One of them who is famous globally and I personally follow him the most is Shreyash Doshi. You must follow him on Twitter. He's very active on Twitter and LinkedIn as well from recent times. And he had one tweet, a thread of tweets in which he explained uh, difference between good product managers and great product managers. And in the same discussion, he enlisted some of the core skills which a product managers which a product management role desires and which a product manager should cultivate. And the essence was in these three senses. Sorry, let me go back. These three senses: the product sense, execution sense, and analytical sense. Product sense is taking correct product decisions. Execution sense is uh, from the ideation stage to the development stage, whatever it takes to execute your product idea or your idea or the team's idea, you should have that executions ability, right? And analytical sense is being data aware of what data is telling, what the story from the data is, and first taking insights from data, second not getting overpowered by the insights, and taking correct decisions based on available data, right? So these are in broader level three main domains in which product managers or aspiring product managers should cultivate his skills, right? And he quotes it very distinctly how to go about it, right? So you all know the percentile system. 90 percentile means that you are in the top 10 percentage of the population in that domain, right? So he says that a product manager should be 90, 70, 50, that number or somewhat similar number he gives, right? So in any of these three sense, in one sense you should be in the top 10 percentile bracket. In the second sense you should be in the top 30 percentile bracket, and in the third sense you can be at the median, not very great, not very bad product managers, but at least in one of these senses you should be the industry standard, very very great performing asset in the company or any other organization, right? So that is in a general holistic way what what skills are needed or what are the required skills for product management. It's a very gray statement, I know, but it is how it is. Every, like as we have discussed earlier, every companies have their own set of challenges, their own set of requirements. So the role of product managers changes according to the company. We had a discussion in the Discord itself. Vinamra asked what was growth, what is growth PM or growth product managers. So companies where the product is defined, right? They have crossed their market validation and now they want to scale up and serve other markets or expand geographies or expand uh, product lines, demographics, etc. Then that stage is called growth stage. You have proven yourself in the market and now you are expanding, right? And in those kind of companies, growth product managers are required, who have a different set of skills are required in those kind of companies. In B2B companies, different challenges occurs, right? Clients management, and like in Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 50 companies, different challenges occurs. And based on those challenges, somewhat roles of product managers are shaped, and there is no true answer of what are the required skills, because it changes according to the company, according to the industry. But in a broader level, these three senses are present throughout the product manager's fraternity, and you must cultivate these three senses, right? You can refer to this tweet to dive deeper into it. It's not a very hazy thread of some words. It is a very detailed discussion on these three senses. And recently he has upgraded one another in another tweet he have explained a framework in which we can work to build these three senses. And okay, let me zoom out and let me again state that the purpose of this cohort is not to collect all the information available in the internet and present you that. The purpose of this cohort is to make you build your own roadmap. So I'll not be going into collecting all the resources and presenting you in a beautiful slide, right? So don't expect that to happen here, right? Having that said, in APM roles in India specifically, what my experience of online and offline interviews were, right? And it has become industry standard, right? For APM or entry level role in product management, you will be required on a whole level, on a very broader level, two rounds right? First will be deck submission round, right? And the second one will be interview round. So in the deck submission round, you are required, a problem statement is given, and you are required to present your, for that problem statement, you have to present slides of your understanding, and the slides must include some elements, right? And those are user search, those are defining metrics, those are defining your solution, how did you choose that solution. You can refer many product management decks nowadays. It is available in many forums, right? You can hunt LinkedIn for it. You can go to uh, right, we will discuss resources in some other day. It is a topic of day 5 on where to get these resources. Deep dive into that later. But for a completion here, there are many available resources of uh, product schools, etc., who collect these kind of resources and make it publicly available, and it is very easy to hunt. So there is one deck round, and the second round, second kind of selection process, not second kind in a manner that either this or that. This is the first round and that is the second round. Both of them happen, right? Second is the interview round, and in the interview round you are judged on different skills again. The first one being communication skills, because product managers, the most important active hours of product management will be devoted towards meetings and translating, as we have earlier also discussed. So that is very like, I've not checking the chat. How much time does one? Okay, all right, we'll come to that. So the interview skills, we are talking about that. So on a broader sense, communication part of it, your structured thinking, your structured. Please unmute yourself and speak if you have anything to put. Right, I'm not checking the chats. Structured thinking, it is very important even in the consulting interview. More so in product interview, you are required to present your structured approach to solving a problem in a very diligent manner, right? Product managers are required to be very structured in their thoughts, end to end completion, right? And a very holistic view of understanding the problem statement, so as to not miss any edge cases and other artifacts in the interview, right? So you should take your time, analyze the statement, and go about interviews. Deck making and interview are very broad skills, and unfortunately it cannot be covered in this cohort. I'm planning a different cohort for devoted to deck making, and another cohort devoted to interview preparation. Yeah, just unmute yourself and speak, no need to raise hand, right? So
Actually, you said,
yeah,
yeah, can I continue?
yes, sure.
Okay, so you said just think about it, whatever is asked in the interview, and then answer it in a structurized manner.
Yeah,
So it's like in an interview, we can't say like what kind of questions are going to come, and
yeah,
how it's on the spot thing. So how
yes.
can we manage that?
Yeah. So there are only certain kinds of question in entry level product roles, right? And I have prepared and I have seen that only two kinds of interview questions are asked. Interview patterns are seen. The one type of interview which is being done is root cause analysis. It comes under that category, right? So you are given a statement like XYZ company is facing ABC problem. Find out why it is facing that problem and give your suggestions on how to tackle on those problems, right? These kind of questions, you have to find a root cause and give your suggestions. Mainly the suggestions part is omitted more often, right? And your understanding of how you are approaching those problem statements and how you are discussing with the interviewer, how you are taking insights, deriving insights, etc., is being tested. Other kind of interview question is product designing interview question. So it will be design XYZ product or feature for ABC company. Sometimes ABC company is not mentioned. So design XYZ or XYZ feature or product, right? You are left ended, right? And you have to, build from scratch what the users need, define the users, their pain points, then defining the solutions, what can be the potential solutions. You have to pick one solution, then go about building that solution, then how you will measure whether you have built is good or not, then those metrics kind of understanding comes. And later, in the later stage, you can go ahead with the market strategy, how you can deploy that product. You can go about problems and mitigation. You can go about other things which are not essentially required. I have never faced in depth on like later stages of this interview. So yeah, so these are two basic kinds of interview which is being carried out in the industry for entry level product roles, right?
I had a question, Harshit.
Yes.
How to cultivate and develop that structured thinking?
Yeah. So the structured thinking is something which will be valuable in the deck making process as well. And that can you can only develop by deep thinking. You can only develop by sitting and thinking about a product. And like, it's more of an exercise than of an expertise, right? So you have to exercise, right? You have to, let's say you are checking an application, like let's say you are checking the wallpaper of your mobile phone, and you have to think that why this placement is there, right? And you have to imagine, like, this is something which was told to me by Vishant, a great friend of mine, right? In a very crude manner, but it is very valuable insight. From then I used to practice this. So you have to think, if a product is built, even if a mouse, right, you think like, why this mobile this object is built away, it has built now, right? जब ये बिल्ड हो रहा होगा, तब प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर्स ने कुछ सोच के ही डिसीजन लिया होगा, या जो भी टीम होगी वो सोच के ही डिसीजन. सो व्हाट मेड देम डिसाइड दैट द बटन प्लेसमेंट विल बी हियर एंड नॉट देयर, राइट? कोई अच्छे प्रोडक्ट को लेकर के यू हैव टू थिंक ऑन दैट लाइंस, दोज लाइंस, राइट? देन यू विल डेवलप योर प्रोडक्ट सेंस, right? And with that, the structured thinking wala part specifically will be developed only by practice, mock interview practices. So you have to make a group, uh, be a part of product clubs in Discord if there are any, if you find any, right? And take initiative, contact your alumni, contact your friends who are preparing for product management, who are little more expert than you. And you have to build a network, and then you have to pitch that, hey, I want to take an interview, mock interview for product management. And trust me, the interview process is the 80% time of your preparation. And the 20, like the theory part of the product management is very straightforward and no brainer. It is simple, but it is not easy. The easy part, it is difficult only because we do not practice it enough in the for the in the mock interviews, right? So you have to develop networks, you have to build networks, either make groups, send messages, send emails, do whatever you can to get mock interviews with different people, so that you understand their take, their understanding, right? So interview will only be perfect, structured thinking will only come when you practice more of it and take feedback, and that will only happen when you reach out to people for mock interviews. We can discuss on deck
Yeah,
making,
got it. Thank you.
deck making also. So deck making is also again a UI thing. Unfortunately, you have to have a little design sense here, because if you see what a deck essentially is, your ideas in a screen, and your ideas in a screen means UI. And you have to design your deck in such a way that your ideas pop up very easily, the storyline is fluid, and what you want to convey is conveyed to the best of your understanding to the interviewer or whoever is looking at your deck, right? So deck making is a very UI intensive work, but there are some rules and systems which you can follow to make your deck more appealing, to make the deck making process a very simple and easy process, right? And we will cover this someday, like after your midsims. I'll be taking one cohort for deck making specifically, so I'll deep dive into deck making and how it can be done. uh right.
Uh,
Yeah,
I have
go
a
ahead.
question regarding the first point.
Yeah.
Like you said that in at least one of these, we should be in the top 10 percentile, right?
Yes, yes.
So it's like how we can judge, because different companies have different, as you said,
Yeah,
it can't be defined.
yeah.
So how we can judge that whether we are in that, like,
It's more
is
of
there
an
any?
intuition. So I have you can check out a video by product folks, an interview with Shreyas Doshi, and he talked about this on how he measures. Like, it's more of an intuition. Like, you get the intuition that you are in the top 10%. It's not more like, it's not a scorecard someone is giving you. And these are in the later stages of your life, I guess. Like, not life, but these are in the later stages of, once you have secured, once you have decided that you will be going ahead in product career, then you should cultivate these things in general. This was the general point. uh, for first entry level product, if you want to enter the product management world, you need to make a very solid deck, and you have to perform very well in the interviews. Then you will get entry in the product management world. And once you enter the product management world, once you are in it, then you have to go and check out these tweets and go get a great understanding. It's just like जेई के टाइम्स में हमें रिसर्च नहीं करना होता फिजिक्स में, राइट? उसी की तरह ये पैरेलल है. लाइक, यू जस्ट नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड उतना ही फिजिक्स जितने में जेई का क्वेश्चन क्रैक हो जाए, राइट? सो वैसा ही सिमिलर सिचुएशन है यहाँ पे. यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, यू नीड टू होन योर स्किल्स इन ऑन दैट लेवल जिसपे तुम्हारा इंटरव्यू एंड डेक क्रैक हो जाए. एंड वंस इट इज डन, देन गो फॉर दीज थिंग्स.
Yeah, got that.
या, राइट. सो मूविंग अहेड, डेक एंड इंटरव्यू मैंने रफली टच किया है. लाइक, we can discuss on this in the AMA which we are having in next 5 minutes. Sure. So my take on this is, being curious, conscious, and confident will get you get you all those things and all those skills settled in their places, right? You have to be curious on technology. You have to be curious about businesses. You have to be curious about day-to-day activities, and you have to be curious about macro activities which are happening around us, right? Once you are curious on that, uh, eventually your technological, you will be aware of different things, right? You have to be curious about, अच्छा ये एप्लीकेशन में यहाँ पे प्लेसमेंट हो, ओके लेट्स सी, और इसके सिमिलर एप्लीकेशंस में कहाँ कहाँ क्या क्या होता है. सो दोस काइंड ऑफ क्यूरियोसिटी, नॉट ओनली इन द डिजिटल वर्ल्ड बट ऑल्सो इन द जनरल डे टू डे वर्ल्ड. लाइक, आई टुक दैट दिस एग्जांपल इन द बिज एंड शेयर का जब डेक मेकिंग का हुआ था. देन ऑल्सो आई टुक द सेम एग्जांपल, जो हमारे गैस सिलेंडर्स घर पे आते हैं, यू हैव टू बी क्यूरियस अबाउट वो कब फिल होते हैं, राइट? कि कैसे, लाइक, रिफिल होके कब आ रहा है, क्या वो तुम्हारी सिटी में ही फिल हो रहा है, या वो ट्रांसपोर्ट होके कहीं हब में जाता है, वहां पे फिल होके आता है, राइट? एंड यू, अभी हमारे पास इंटरनेट है, वी कैन गेट ऑल द आंसर्स, राइट? यू हैव टू जस्ट cultivate curiosity in your mindset, and like, these kind of, like, this will be a very essential skill which you will have, right? Second one is being conscious, being aware of everything. You have to be aware कि अच्छा ठीक है, like, प्रेजेंटेशंस की बनाने के लिए और कौन कौन से सॉफ्टवेयर है. ये वंडर प्रेजेंटेशन क्या है, राइट? अच्छा, इट इज अ प्रेजेंटेशन पीपीटी मेकिंग सॉफ्टवेयर फ्रॉम नोशन, राइट? और क्या क्या नोशन की चीजें. तो यू हैव टू बी अवेयर ऑफ द होल इकोसिस्टम ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स, एंड दिस विल हेल्प यू डायरेक्टली इन योर डेक मेकिंग एंड इंटरव्यू प्रोसेसेस. जब तुम ये सारी चीजें बताओगे, ऑल राइट, आई थिंक किसी एक स्टेज ऑफ इंटरव्यू में यू गिव अ सोल्यूशन एंड यू स्टेट कि अच्छा मैंने ये एक प्रोडक्ट देखा है, वंडर प्रेजेंटेशन, एंड वी कैन टेक अ सिमिलर अप्रोच इन डिजाइनिंग XYZ, and you can proceed your interview. That will give you a very strong footing in the interview, in the deck, if you quote this kind of your awareness and curiosity in your decks, right? The third part is being confident, and this comes only when you are true to yourself, you are genuine to yourself, then you are confident to others, right? Whatever you are presenting, that should be original work. Whatever you are saying should be coming from within you. Let me give a more, this is a very abstract way of saying, let me give a very concrete example, right? When you ask question in the interview, or when you present a theory in your deck, right? They can, or he or she can always cross question you, right? And if you're not confident and you are stating, then you will lose that track. But let's say you state that this problem can be tackled by blockchain and Web3 technologies, and we can take this approach XYZ, and you are confident in saying that. जब वो पूछेगा या पूछेगी कि हाउ यू आर स्टेटिंग दिस, कि ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है, एंड ही विल डिग डीप इनटू दैट, राइट? एंड यू कैन से कि लाइक आई हैव अ very preliminary understanding of this topic, but from what I understand this works in this way, and this like, or you can take the interview ahead, right? So this will only happen when you're confident in the deck making part of it, when you state a flow chart, when you give a theory, when you give certain bullet points which are coming from your intuition. It might not work if it's not backed by any logic, and or is not backed by any sources, right? And when you state that same statement, but you give references, when you give your logic, and when you give sources, then it will be more valuable in your technique, and you will sound more confident in that. So these are the three things which you need in yourself as of now, as your student, to be more curious, to be more conscious about the environment, to be more curious about all the things happening around, and be more confident in your approach, right? These three things are not exclusive, they are tied to each other. So yeah, that was all about today's session. Right, next thing is we will be discussing about how to, how to plan your timeline in such a way that you prepare for a product. There are three theories to it. We have only 5 to 6 minutes left. थोड़ा Q&A ज़्यादा हो गया बीच में ही, इसलिए थोड़ा टाइम निकल गया. Anyways, so three approaches: backward thinking, forward thinking, and circumstantial thinking, right? Backward thinking in a way that you make a timeline, keeping your like placing yourself far ahead in time and looking it backward in your timeline, right? See yourself when you are 40 or 50 or 60, and then you look backward, right? कि like you are in 50, तुम्हें क्या क्या चाहिए, all right, तुम्हें ये चीजें चाहिए. Then you see, अच्छा ठीक है, मुझे 50 में अचीव ये करना है, उसके लिए मुझे 40 में ये करना पड़ेगा. Cool, you make a list for your 40 years age yourself, right? Then you again do a backward step कि अच्छा मुझे 40 में ये सारी चीजें अचीव करनी है, मुझे 30 में ये करना पड़ेगा. Then you come to 20s जहाँ पे तुम probably अभी हो. Then you realize कि तुम्हें अभी क्या क्या करना है, right? That is one approach to it. Second approach, and these three approaches are not independent, they should be tied together. Second approach is forward thinking, जो बचपन में हम सोचते थे कि बड़े होके ये करना है या वो करना है, या जो तुम्हारे innate wishes है, right? Take yourself back, in the timeline very of a very young self, right? And you look कि अच्छा तुम्हें क्या करने का मन था, right? And with that you plan accordingly, like उसी की तरह. Like backward thinking, like I follow backward thinking, but forward thinking is something I have recently discovered and I'm trying to follow that. Circumstantial thinking is somewhat जिस स्टेज में हम अभी हैं उस circumstances में हमें क्या बेस्ट करना चाहिए, right? There might be some responsibilities and duties tied to our like current situation, and we must not let that be wild and free. We have to take that into account while planning. So cool. अब हम क्या करेंगे, like I'll share the screen, open up Notion and explain to you कि ये planning actually में कैसे होती है, and I'll take some demo examples and we'll discuss कि ऐसे क्या क्या करना है आगे, right? And that will be interaction, not a monologue. So with that, मतलब मेरे को एक बार चेक करना पड़ेगा कि if Discord has this feature to share the screen. अगर वहां पे नहीं हो रहा है then I'll again share a link to Zoom. So थोड़ा सा ये होगा दिक्कत अगर Discord पे नहीं होगा तो. So with that, let's move to Discord. There I'll somewhat share कि मैं कैसे प्लान करता हूँ. Power of timeline and power of small wins. राइट, हमारे पास अभी 6-7 मिनट और है. सो इस वाले अप्रोच में तो कुछ किसी को डिस्कस करना है, वी कैन टेक अप दैट क्वेश्चन इन 5 minutes हियर एंड देन विल स्विच टू डिस्कॉर्ड.
There was a point where you said like, yeah, and sorry, above this. Yeah, my take in curiosity. you said if you are not sure about the statement, suppose you took an example of web3, yeah, like
Yep.
it's the thing, and it's my approach according to me,
Yep.
and then you can move ahead. If in that case the interviewer cross questions you, then how to deal with that situation?
Yep. You need to understand that mock interviews, sorry, the placement interviews, the deck making process is not, the outcome of that is not to implement that idea in a real life situation to test that theory. It is not meant for that. The outcome of the deck making process and the interview process is to test your communication skills, your structured thinking approach, and your personality in general, right? So there will never be a chance where interview will deep dive into a specific topic and holistically try to evolve your idea. No, there will be no chance of that. And even if that chance occur, then you need to be genuine, and we need to put yourself forward and say, like, this is my understanding up till now. From my understanding, I have derived these insights. If there are any edge cases which you have called out, I do not know that currently. I'll certainly take note of this and get back to you after I do my uh, research or after I study more on that. Right? You have to be genuine and accept your mistakes if it is something very concerning, right? With that, एक काफी छोटा सा चीज, लाइक इंटरव्यू में एक बहुत छोटा सा थ्योरी है कि लाइक एक बहुत मैकेंजी या किसी कंपनी ने ये स्टडी किया था, एंड वहां से ये लाइक दो इंटरव्यू पैरेलली रन हुए थे, सेम सेट ऑफ इंटरव्यूअर्स, टेस्ट कंडीशंस में, एंड एक एक लाइन ऑफ इंटरव्यूज में उन्हें बोला गया था, यू हैव टू डिसाइड इन 10 seconds of ki are interviewer interviewee, and within 10 seconds you have to decide. You have to carry out the interview in normal settings, but aapko 10 second mein hi decide karna hai. And in the second second test environment, they said ki aap normal interview process kijiye, right? What they found out is ki interviewers jo hain वो 10 सेकंड में ही जो डिसाइड करते हैं वहीं पे वो स्टिक करते हैं till the last, right? So interview is more of a, it does not test your caliber, competence. It tests your personality. It tests your soft skills or your personality values more than your competence, right? So अगर interviewer को तुम पसंद आ जाओगे, then even if वो skills तुम्हारे में थोड़े कम है, तुम सीख लोगे वो चीज, right? And उन्हें भी पता है कि भाई ये सीख लेगा, ये एनालिटिक्स सीख लेगा. बट अगर आपके कैरेक्टर में थोड़े फॉल्ट हैं, अगर आप वो अगर पोर्ट्रे वैसा हो रहा है इंटरव्यू में, देन तुम सुपरस्टार भी हो, he will not hire you. He or she will not hire you. Right. So with that, let's move to Discord and get the timeline exercise done. Right. It's a very fun exercise. Cool. Let's open Discord. Event details. And let me, okay, it has already started. Can you see that?
Yeah.
अरे स्टार्ट कैसे करूं मैं? ओके, क्लिक करने पे ही स्टार्ट कैसे हो गई ये? हैपनिंग नाउ वेयर? वेलकम में, डिस्कशंस में. ऑलराइट, स्टार्ट द स्टेज. Cool, let's meet. Day 3. Sure, let's move to Discord, guys. Bye bye.